Hello everyone, and welcome to the Box Gaming Solo Career Series with F1 2013. I am of course Justin, aka Fake Ghost Pirate, and today we're going to be racing in India. And this commentary is being recorded after the race because of the recent sound issues I've been having. I just kind of decided to abandon the live commentary. So that will mean that I can do a little bit more talking though during this. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. Going through the emails, I believe I won at the previous race. Pretty sure I did anyway. Totally destroying Romain Grosjean as usual. And it looks like it's going to be sunny for the entire weekend in India. Got a contract offer from Toro Rosso, which I am thinking about taking for next season. Let me know if you guys would be interested in seeing that. Also have a contract offer from Williams. I'd rather not drive for Williams only because we drive for them in our co-op career series. But if that's something you guys would really like to see, then go ahead and let me know. But I like to keep the cars different, you know, kind of mix it up on the videos. Force India, I'm not really interested in driving for Force India. And I don't really feel like partnering Sutil or DeResta. For 2014, I'd certainly love to drive for Force India since they're going to have Hulkenberg and Perez, two of my favorite drivers, or probably my two favorite drivers, actually. Alright, so here we go. This is Q3, and I do believe Romain Grosjean was into Q3. Yeah, he's into Q3 as well. I was a little bit off the pace, actually, at this track. I was definitely not really looking at getting pole position or anything like that. Oh, there's a Sauber in the way of Nico Hulkenberg. And, yep, I am actually going to stay right behind him. Excuse me. And because I'm going to get the dirty air effect for two turns. Turns 1 and 3. So I'm losing time through here, gaining time through here, and then I'm losing time through here, but not much. You really only lose time in high-speed corners from the dirty air effect. We're not going fast enough through that hairpin to actually create any downforce, which means he's not creating any dirty air, really. And I am just barely going to get by him, so I gained lots of time down this straight by using his slipstream, braking a little early at about 125 meters or so to finish Sector 1. And it's purple at the moment, but of course nobody has set a time just yet. Going down to 4th gear for this double left, 2nd gear for the second part of it. Oh, and that wasn't, I missed my apex a little bit there. And here through the Parabolica. Very difficult corner, and I did not get it right. Oh, and that's a corner cut, and that's a corner cut, and I have completely destroyed that good lap, or what I thought was a pretty good lap anyway. It was feeling pretty good. I didn't really make any major mistakes there. It may have been a mistake to follow Nico Hulkenberg, possibly, but I'm not sure. As Vettel sets the first time at 126.7, which I do believe is right around where I was in Q2. So actually at that moment, it's looking like I could be in the fight for pole position. Gonna go ahead and slap on my last set of tires, so this is my last shot to get this right. As I do my fuel, I'm gonna do a flying lap here. Excuse me. All right, and we got a big gap ahead, big gap behind, no cars anywhere near us, no cars in the pits either, so I don't have to worry about anybody coming out ahead or behind me. And I took a lot of curb for that corner there, and you want to get the car far to the left as you cross the line to shorten the distance down to the braking zone for turn 1. Braking at about 120, 110 meters. It's strange, the braking for that corner. You're not going that fast. I'm only in 6th gear, I think, 7th gear. Definitely not topping out, though. It feels like you should be able to brake at like 100 meters or so. But no, you gotta brake pretty early, actually, for that turn 1 corner. Using about 65% of my curves for this DRS straight. Having no problem hitting top speed with that remaining amount of curves, and getting a little wide onto the exit curb, using the rest of my curves. Let's see, and there is no split time, so I have no idea how fast this is. I am being a little conservative because this is my only chance. If I don't hit this, then I'm gonna be starting the race from 10th place. So I kind of need to nail this and not make any mistakes. Yep, so I'm tentative on the turn in at the exit of the Parabolica. Don't want to cut that corner again. And down to 4th gear through that section there. Up to 5th and then down to 2nd for this very long right downhill to 5th gear. And then braking down to 1st gear for the final corner. And DRS and staying to the right to minimize the run down across the line. And unfortunately that's only a 27.1. I was into the mid to high 26s in Q2, but Sebastian Vettel just absolutely dominates the session and ends up doing a 126.1. Just unbelievable time from Vettel there. I mean, that's 5/10 faster than anything I was able to do in that session. So I don't know if it's a setup issue, if I chose a bad setup or something like that. But we're gonna see the setup in a minute here. So feel free to chime in the comments and let me know if you think you can find my problem here. But I did qualify ahead of Roman Grosjean, but just barely. He's going to be starting alongside me in 8th position, I believe. And if I'm going to be doing after-the-fact commentary, I'm thinking about maybe just doing highlights and trimming out the boring parts of the races. Let me know in the comments if you guys would be interested in that. These videos are pretty long, and I do get the feeling that people are kind of skipping around. So if you guys would like me to cut out the boring bits and shorten these down a little bit, let me know in the comments as well. It wouldn't require too much effort from me at all. So I showed you the setup there. I didn't explain it, but it's there. The strategy here, it's telling me to do option, option, prime, option. And I already know, after just one hot lap, my option tires are at 85%, is what they said. So I got to imagine the options, I can't imagine them doing much more than 6 laps. It's telling me to pit on lap 7, actually, and in retrospect, I should have changed that. I should have realized that I'd already, I'm on tires that are at 85% health already, and they want me to stop on lap 7. So I should have known that wasn't going to work out great. So it looks like I'm going to try swapping out one of the option stints for a prime stint. I was considering doing option prime, but I decided I was going to go ahead and just do option prime, option, since the game seemed to think I could do 3 option stints. I figure I could probably get away with doing 2. So here we are on the grid. Grosjean just behind, Massa to the right, Webber just ahead, Vettel on pole, 4 lights, 5 lights, rich mix, and we're away. And getting a pretty good start. Grosjean is coming up the right, and I'm going to take the outside line for turn 1. It looks like I'm going to gain a position on Massa. At least, no, Massa got a nice run through the inside of turn 1. And we're going to go 3 wide into this hairpin. There's contact, and I just about managed to not hit Alonso, and then I do hit Alonso. And I'm going to slot in 5th position just behind Lewis Hamilton, using lots of my curves, probably going to be using all of my curves. Yep, and I'm going alongside Alonso now in the slipstream of Rosberg, who's alongside Vettel, and we're going to go 3 wide into turn 4, I believe this is. And there's a little bit of a lockup, and I don't get a good line or a good exit. It looks like there's some contact, actually, from Vettel. He might have pushed me off the track, which caused me to lose some... the game takes you off the gas when you go off the track like that. So, and now I'm in the dirty air with the heavy fuel, running in lean mix to do some fuel saving. This is a track where you can use the rich mix quite a bit for the start-finish straight, the DRS straight, and then the short straight that's after the DRS straight as well. There's 3 locations you can use rich, so you will be seeing me do some fuel saving. There's no perfect, as I do a little bit of a corner cut there, there's no perfect sector for fuel saving at this track, and so you'll see me doing it in some strange places, and that's just to try and save fuel as best I can. Other tracks, there's very definitive sectors of the track which are easy to identify as ones that you can run in lean. This track really doesn't have that. It's sector 2, if anything, really, though. So Sector 2 is really where you're going to see me running in lean the most. And Vettel has, in true Vettel fashion, pulled out a 1.5 second gap in the first lap, where I was in the lead heading into the end of Sector 1 last lap. So in just 2 sectors time, he's pulled out a gap of over a second and a half. And it's I really need to be pushing. I need to be pushing to get up behind him. I can't allow him to just pull away like this. So down to standard, yep, and then down to lean. You're really not accelerating through this corner. You're decelerating very slowly through this, and then you're back on the gas now. So I'm back up to standard. And a little bit in the grass for that corner. Coming into Parabolica, this is a 4th gear corner. With the way my gears are for the heavy fuel, it's comfortably a 5th gear corner. Oh, as I get all 4 wheels off the track, and again at the exit. But comfortably a 5th gear corner and qualifying. Oh, as I go very wide through that corner, lots of understeer. I think I missed my turn-in point actually for that corner, so I think that was more my fault than anything else. I don't think the tires are starting to go just yet. Certainly, they're probably not doing great, but they're not that bad just yet. I think that was more my own error rather than anything else, and I have closed down that gap now. I gained about a 10th, maybe a 10th and a quarter on Vettel over lap 2, and DRS is active now, and the activation line is just there, and I don't think I got it on this occasion. Come around the hairpin, not a great line up to Rich Mix, using some curves. Going to use all my curves in the race. I do believe it is best to gear your car so that you're getting close to the limiter in 7th after using full curves. You can see it's on the green and it didn't quite get to the red. So later in the race with the lighter fuel, you'll see just about hitting the limiter without DRS, using the full allotment of curves on that DRS straight. Only 1.0 seconds to Vettel now, just about within DRS range. Unfortunately though, going right off the track, getting all 4 wheels into the grass. That's going to slow me down for these corners here, and that's exactly what I need to be avoiding at this time, because I really need to be getting within DRS range of Vettel, if only so I can do some fuel saving. Lean mix with DRS is about the same as rich mix without DRS, if not a little bit stronger. So getting DRS is really good for fuel efficiency on top of speed. So you can use it for a number of things. I can tell you right now, if I don't seem to have the outright pace on Vettel at the moment. So likely, if I can get myself within DRS, I'm going to be looking to use lean mix while the DRS is open in an effort to try and save fuel so that I can attack in a later stint. I have a feeling that he's running a lot of rich mix at this moment to try and pull out this gap. As you can see, I get some understeer through that hairpin. I don't get a great line. Get a pretty decent exit though, no wheel spin, but I'm definitely losing time down the straight. I think I do, but I got DRS and I go down to lean. And just about hitting the limiter for a couple of seconds at about 196, 197 miles per hour, something like that. Going back to rich. Nicely in the slipstream at the moment, but I'm going to be getting the dirty air effect, something horrible through this section. I'm only 5/10 behind now, a little bit less than 6/10 behind, very close behind. I'm actually in lean at the moment and close behind as well, and trying to take a different line than him as much as I can. But in the Parabolica, there's just nothing you can do. There's only one line through the Parabolica, really, unless you cut the course like I did just there. And again, getting understeer through that 4th gear corner, and it said it was 4/10 at the split, but unfortunately I think it's more than that at this point, and just losing even more time through that penultimate corner. Coming to the final corner of lap 4, going into rich, and I do get DRS. Going to standard, and down to lean. We're getting about 130 meters. To start lap 5. The tires are definitely going to be starting to show signs of wear. As I mentioned earlier, it's about 15% of the tire's life for one lap. At least it wasn't qualifying. So even if you call it 10 after 4 laps, that means these tires are at about 45% health. as I get DRS again, and I'm actually going to save some KERS, and I'm in lean mix as well, so I'm saving fuel and KERS while catching him, closing him down quite a bit, actually. I'm thinking he's running either high wings or short gears, possibly a combination of the two. Using the rest of my KERS with some rich mix, closing in on him as we start Sector 2. Getting the dirty air effect now, though. Oh gosh, I'm right off the track again, and now I'm just losing time all through this section. And I really need a good parabolica to try and make up as much of that time so I can get DRS on the start-finish straight. You can see I'm really hugging the inside to try and avoid the dirty air. Just about avoiding the gravel on the inside. That was a definite corner cut, though. Surprised the game didn't give me a warning for that one. A little bit better line for that left-hand corner. 0.6 to Vettel, coming to the end of lap 5. Should be comfortably within DRS range. Breaking down to first gear. And missing my apex just slightly. Getting DRS, using rich mix for the early gears. And then I should be switching to standard. No, actually I stayed in rich for all the way through 6th gear to try and catch up as much time as we can. And actually you can see it's a 1 second split time. So just in sector 3 there, he pulled out quite a bit. I think even just in the final corner he pulled out several tenths. And going to rich now, and you can hear the wheel, you can hear and see the wheel spin. You can also kind of see the tire life. It's got that kind of line on the left tire. There's a sort of line going down the middle. That's one of the sure signs that it's starting to wear, and I'm very close to Vettel now, though. And again, more understeer, though, through the corners. It really seems that I have the advantage in the straights, but Vettel has the advantage everywhere else. And that's just making my job that much harder. Again, taking very strange lines to try and minimize the dirty air effect. The tires are very worn at this point, so the dirty air effect combined with the exceptionally worn tires is definitely creating problems for me. And again, just really struggling through that corner. Oh, as I go very wide at the exit. Oh no, and here comes Alonso. Alonso has closed down the gap. It seems I am really struggling, and Alonso is very close. It looks like I'm going to miss out on DRS on Vettel, and Alonso is going to get DRS on me, so I'm going to go to Rich Mix. I'm probably going to stay in Rich Mix. No, it looks like actually Alonso maybe lost a little bit of time. Yep, it's almost 2 seconds now to Vettel. So clearly my tires are starting to show signs of wear, and I probably should have just gone ahead and pit at the end of lap 6 there for primes, but I decided to stick to my strategy without even having looked at my tire wear, and I think I'm going to regret that in the end. And using all of my KERS, Alonso's very close. There's the DRS line, so Alonso's DRS is going to be open. Using all my KERS, Rosberg is alongside Alonso. And they're going to be going side by side into turn 4. And can I get through the corner? Just barely. And oh, there's been some contact between Rosberg and Alonso behind it. Alonso got driven right off the track. So Alonso has dropped back several positions. And now I got Rosberg for company, who unfortunately was fast enough to not only keep up with Alonso, but actually pass him while Alonso had his DRS open. So now I got Rosberg to deal with, and that's actually worse. Oh, as I go right off the track, these tires are clearly just destroyed at this point. And I don't think I've looked at my tires yet, even. Oh gosh, as I lock my outside tire going into the penultimate corner, Rosberg just shoots right up the inside as we come to the end of lap 7, as I finally get to put on a new pair of boots. And as I run right off the track, almost hit the barrier. Holy cow. Do I look at my tires? I'm sorry, I may have taken a peek and see what they looked like earlier. I don't know if you guys caught that, but I didn't see it. But they were pretty dead. I had some really, really dead tires. They were not feeling good. All right, so Rosberg's still behind, Rosberg is behind me. He was ahead of me going into the pits. I'm wondering if he had some front wing damage or if he just got held up from other cars entering the pits. But I got Ricciardo just behind. And right now I'm still racing Vettel because Rosberg is behind after the pit stops. So I'm racing Vettel at the moment, who is... Did Vettel pit? Or is that him going through Sector 2 right now? I think that might be him going through Sector 2 right now. Okay, so I don't think Vettel has pit yet. So he's actually going to do 8 laps on his worn option tires. And, I mean, mine were dead on lap 6, really. So, I mean, he's able to do 2 extra laps comfortably. Who knows? Who knows how much more he could have done? As I'm getting the grip on these tires is just insane. So I'm cutting the corner and getting grass. That was unintentional. I lost time for sure. I didn't gain time. So I'm gaining on Sutil all the time through the parabolic as I sneak up the inside. He's going to try along the outside. And nope, I take the position along the outside of the following turn. And nope, that is Vettel ahead. So Vettel did pit already. And that's him going through the final corner now, crossing the finish line at the moment. So I've definitely lost time to Vettel in the pit stops and everything. Can I get a gap? Holy cow. Up at the top left there, everything's really broken. It says Hamilton's in 3rd and 9th at the same time. Oh my gosh. Okay, I don't know what's going on up there. Okay, here we go. Now we can see our time to Vettel. Nice line through the hairpin. Comparatively to other laps anyway. Using all of my curves. Now it looks like I've actually pulled out a little bit of a gap on Rosberg. There we go. 2.6 seconds to Vettel, so I lost 6/10 overall in that time. I am purple at the moment, but I'm sure Vettel is also purple at the moment. As I have Button behind, he must be on a long first prime stint or something like that. Nicely through the parabolica, a little wide at the exit, but even the F1 drivers do that. So I feel like I can too. Purple again through Sector 2, only 2.4 now to Vettel. Gained a couple of tenths through Sector 2. As we come to the end of lap 9, a little less than a third done with this race. And I do get fastest lap actually with a 129.453. But I'm 2.8 behind Vettel now, so that's interesting. He must have had a really horrid Sector 1 or 2 or possibly both, because he had a really good Sector 3 clearly. So he gains about 4/10 on me in that 3rd sector. And again, here we are in this long DRS straight, using all of our curves of rich mix, going to standard in 6th gear. And a lot of times on tracks you'll see me go to lean in 7th gear, but actually with India, I'm trying to get as high a top speed as possible. That straight is just so long. And actually I saved some of my curves, that's interesting. Normally don't do that. Going down to lean for Sector 2, the start of Sector 2 anyway. Nicely through that section. That's probably the best I've taken that all race long. And that as well, wow, that was very, very cleanly through. I don't know how fast it was, but it certainly looked nice. And still in lean actually through this parabolica, interestingly enough. Doing some extra fuel saving. And it's only 1.998 to Vettel now, 2 seconds away. Gained quite a bit through sectors 1 and 2, and for some reason he gains quite a bit on me through here, so I imagine see a split time a little bit higher than 2 seconds, maybe 2.2, 2.3, something along those lines. Using some rich mix for the start-finish straight. And it's actually only 2.1 to Vettel, so I did still lose time through Sector 3, but not quite as much as previous laps. Going down to standard for turn 1.
Okay, it looks like the car ahead is trying to create a gap. He's running full revs, maximum power.
As Button does the fastest lap of the race with a 129.086, which means certainly he is not still on his first stint. He must be on a new set of options or something, so it's actually looking like Button in the McLaren is going to be pretty competitive in this race. I mean, he must have gotten ahead of Rosberg even, so true to real-life F1, the McLaren is performing quite well here in India. I do believe I saw Perez in the top 10 somewhere. So they're looking like they're going to get a double points finish. 1.9 to Vettel, 10th up on the previous lap. 1.9 back to Button as well. I think he's closing that gap down a little bit. We're going to have to keep an eye on both of those. Easy to remember, though. They're both at 1.9 at the start of Sector 2. Through the Parabolica. Tentative. It's tough through the Parabolica. Oh, wow, as I lose 4/10 to Vettel and 6/10 to Button. So did not have a good Sector 2 there at all. And Button is getting very close now. He might be even within DRS range. As I imagine, I'm probably going to have a little look-see. Nope. 2.6 to Vettel. 1.2 to Button. And actually, I'm just realizing I think they are on the options. If you guys remember from the beginning of the race, as Alonso does a 128.986. I believe he's somewhere in that group that's behind us, the one that's going through turn 3 at the moment, with Romain Grosjean at the tail end of it and with the yellow dot there. I think Alonso's in that group there. He probably got DRS for that lap, I would imagine. And again, just a little bit too much exit curb, I think, on that one. 2.5 to Vettel, 1.3 to Button, so I'm just barely keeping Button out of my DRS, and I'm pushing for that exact reason. I certainly can't attack Vettel if I'm defending from Button. Oh, right, but I'm pretty sure the game told me to do 3 option stints, so it's very possible that Button and Vettel and the whole rest of the grid are doing 3 option stints. So it's very possible that the cars around me right now are actually on option tires, which could explain why I'm struggling so much to catch Vettel and to stay away from Button in the certainly less powerful McLaren, or not less powerful, but not quite as quick McLaren. The Lotus is definitely the faster car. And what's this about? Oh, right. I was having a, yeah, just ignore that. I was having a little issue, a little personal life issue. Sorry, I thought I was going to cut that out, but it wasn't that long, so we'll just deal with it. 2.7 now to Vettel, 0.7, only 7/10 to Button. He's definitely going to get DRS. Oh no, and I've gone extremely wide through this hairpin. And you can actually see the proximity arrow for Button. I've gotten a nice run coming out of that corner, though, because of the wide line. So I got a nice top speed going, but Button's DRS is now open. And he's going to come along the inside of turn 4. And he is on the option tires. I don't know if you guys saw that, too. And I maintain the position along the outside. And he drops back a little bit. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. 2.9 now to Vettel. I've already lost several tenths to Vettel just because of going side by side with Button through turn 4 there. Oh, just not a good sequence of corners there. Just 2 more laps to go on this prime tire stint. So not much longer before I can... And you can see I'm already struggling. And has Button dropped back? Button has dropped back. He had some sort of issue, it would appear. He was only a few tenths behind at the end of Sector 1, and he's now 2.1 seconds back. Only 3 seconds to Vettel, so I only lost a tenth through that sector. But it's certainly looking like Vettel is kind of running away with this race at the moment. So we come to the end of lap 13, starting lap 14. 3.4 to Vettel, 1.8 to Button. So they are both clearly faster than me. My last lap was a 130.566. Well, I can tell you they're almost certainly into the 129s right now. And I was too on the options. You can see my personal best was a 129.453. I'm sure I'd be going just as fast on the options at the moment if I had them, but they just don't seem to last as long for me, and that could be because of a super aggressive camber setup on the front anyway. It did full left camber on the front, if I remember correctly. I think that'd be the way to go, as my fuel goes to optimal here on lap 14. So fuel saving is definitely going to be more of a focus now. Anytime I see that, you know, more than 10 laps before the end of the race, I start focusing on fuel saving a little bit more. Oh, as I clunk over that curve, that is not the fastest way around that corner. And staying in lean for the Parabolica. Nope, as I go to standard and finish out the Parabolica in mix 2. 2.8 to Vettel, close him down a little bit. 1.6 to Button, pulled away a little bit. 0.2 faster than previous lap. And Vettel's pitting. All right, so Vettel did 7 laps on the first stint, 7 laps on the second stint. It's an interesting one. So Vettel is pitting right now. This is going to be an important lap. This is my in lap. And I lost time overall to Vettel in that stint, so... and that was with using a lot of fuel, actually. As you can see, I'm at optimal at the moment. Going into this long straight here, and I'm just using more and more fuel as I go. Here we go, as I use some lean mix. It looks like Button pit as well. I got Rosberg behind for company now. Braking pretty conservatively. This is the 8th lap on this set of tires. So they're probably pretty worn. Yep, they're not looking great. I can tell you the options were looking a lot worse than that after 7 laps, though. So this is the slower tire, though. So maybe I should have just gone for a less aggressive camber on the front and tried for the 3 option stints like everyone else. Certainly, I think it couldn't have hurt. Would have been at least a little bit more comfortable. And using lean for this entire sector, my tires are already pretty dead, so no point. I don't want to lock up my outside tire on my in lap again, so I brake very conservatively for that penultimate corner. And doing a lot of saving, fuel saving while the tires are in this sort of condition is always a good idea. And it looks like Rosberg is going to continue on. So pitting from the lead. And someone in the pits behind me. No, they're not going to be an issue. And here comes Vettel, and there goes Vettel. So I'm coming out in 3rd position. Rosberg has yet to pit, though, so I'm in a net 2nd position at the moment. But of course, I do have to worry about Rosberg. I'm not sure what stint this is for Vettel, though. I'm not sure if this is his 3rd option stint or his one and only prime stint. But Button is very close, so he's actually gained some time on lap 15 while I was out on my extremely worn, and he is on option, so Button is on a 3rd option stint as I maintain that position around the outside of turn 4 yet again. Real deja vu moment there. 3.6 to Vettel, that's not too bad. I again have lost out time on him in the pit stop phase, but once again it's not that much. So I mean, he's just within reach. If I could just start consistently putting in laps that are 2 or 3 tenths faster than him, then I can start really closing that gap down. Maybe get within DRS would be nice. So I'm definitely pushing. I'm pushing very hard. Not hard enough to make a mistake. 2nd is a very good, I don't want to throw away a 2nd place finish just to try and close down Vettel. Now, if I was side by side with Vettel, yes, maybe I would take a risk at getting 1st place position. But right now, I am, almost 4 seconds back from Vettel. So as he does the fastest lap of the race. So I'm going to go ahead and guess that he probably is on the option tires again. So he's probably got 1 more stop, and his last stint will probably be for the primes. That was not a good line through that hairpin whatsoever. But I don't want to risk this position just to gain some time on a car that I'm not even close to passing, is what I was trying to say earlier. It's all about risk versus reward, and right now the reward is 0 for pushing too hard. I want to push. I want to try to push to close him down, but I want to do it in a conservative sort of way, so I'm not risking anything. As he's actually just pulling out that gap even farther now, 4 seconds to Vettel, as we are past the halfway point of this race. And this is the 3rd stint out of 4. I got 1 more stop to make on lap 24 for the options. I not comfortably, but I did 7 laps on the 1st option stint. Man, yeah, I really should have changed that. I should have pit on lap 6 at the end for the 1st stint, and then lap 23 for the last stint. But that's my own fault. I don't know why I didn't. Usually I'm better with that kind of sort of thing. But yeah, somehow I didn't notice that my first stint was actually longer than my second option stint, which makes zero sense. 4.8 to Vettel now. It's looking like he's really gone on these option tires. I mean, he is just flying, and Button is within my DRS. There's a little bit of a gap back to Rosberg, 2.3 to Rosberg from Button. So it's not looking like I have to worry about him at the moment anyway. But Button is very close. Again, I'm going to have to use all of my Kurs and Rich Mix. Standard for 7th gear. In fact, going down to lean for this corner here, and then back up to Rich for the exit. I haven't had any criticism about that. I have expected some criticism from subscribers about changing fuel too much. Changing fuel is something that I practiced a lot when I first got my wheel, and I do apologize if I've talked about this before, but it's something I practiced a lot, and I do see the benefit of using lean in the slower sections of the course and rich in the other sections. It's a waste of fuel to use rich in certain sectors of certain tracks. So there's just no point in doing it. And in fact, if you run lean in those very sectors, that'll give you even more rich fuel to use in the sectors where rich actually matters. I think that partly creates a slower lap time as far as peak lap time is concerned. If you look at my league races, I tend to have slower fastest lap times versus other people. I also do tend to be slower over 1 lap pace, but part of the reason my fastest lap times are usually so low is because I use lean in almost every single lap. You'd be hard-pressed to find a clip on this channel of me going an entire lap without using lean, outside of qualifying, of course. Qualifying, you use rich the whole time. But in the race, you can almost always benefit. There might be... No, I was going to say maybe Hungary. Yeah, I think actually my opening lap in Hungary, I didn't use any lean mix. That video hasn't come out yet. Obviously, that's going to be coming out later this week, or this weekend. But I think my opening lap in Hungary, I didn't use any lean mix. But that was actually kind of a mistake, really. So, but yeah, you'd be pretty hard-pressed to find a lap of me playing where I don't use lean mix. So that does mean that my fastest lap times are usually on the slower side, but I do believe that it increases or decreases your race time overall. So there's pros and cons, but the pros definitely outweigh the cons, if you ask me. Fastest lap doesn't get you any points. 5.2 to Vettel, 1.2 to Button, so I've gotten Button out of my DRS, thank God. And Vettel is looking like he is just gone as we start lap 20, nearing 2/3 completion. And there's Optimal again. But this is okay. As I mentioned before, usually I want to start seeing Optimal around with 10 laps remaining. It does kind of vary depending on the track. The longer a track is, the more fuel 1 lap represents. 1 lap of fuel at Spa is more fuel than 1 lap of fuel at Monaco, for instance. So it does vary from track to track. But also, so does the number of laps. The longer a track is, the less laps you do, which is why you do less laps of Spa and more laps of Monaco, for example. So overall, you want to be 10 laps, maybe that's a little too vague. With 1/3 of the race remaining is when I like to start seeing Optimal. So if it's a 33-lap race, I don't want to start seeing Optimal really until lap 22. If it's a 30-lap race, I'm looking to see Optimal around lap 20. If it's a 24-lap race, I'm looking to see Optimal around lap 16, so that sort of thing. So fuel saving won't be as bad, although my next stint is an option stint. So actually, I think I might do some excessive fuel saving for the next few laps. There's 4 laps remaining on this set of tires, including this one, lap 21. So I'll probably be doing some nice fuel saving so that I can use some extra rich with the option tires and really push at the end. Vettel ahead and Button behind. I don't know about Rosberg, but Vettel and Button, I do believe, we're both doing option prime. So actually the one part of this race where I would be faster is going to be in the final 6 laps. So that's where I'm going to be looking to make up a lot of time. And actually the time now to Vettel has kind of stabilized. I think his option tires are starting to show signs of wear a little bit worse than mine might be. In fact, he might be looking to pit for his prime tires pretty soon here. And oh, he's getting held up by a back marker at the moment, so that might be part of the reason that I'm not losing quite so much time. Did lose 3/10 through that second sector. Well, let's see what it looks like at the end of the lap. And there's that back marker. Hopefully I can get DRS on him. I'm about 3 seconds back right now, and the DRS detection's at the hairpin corner of turn 3. Yep, it's only 3.1 to Vettel now, so he lost 2 seconds because of that back marker. And that's definitely livened things up quite a bit. If that's 3 seconds, then I'm probably about 1.5 to this Caterham. Am I able to get DRS? I think I did. I think I got DRS on him, and that is definitely going to help in my pursuit of Vettel, as Peak actually nicely stays out of the way for once. And I do get DRS, and that is going to be very helpful. And I'm still in rich mix at the moment. I gotta imagine I'm going down to lean. No, actually I'm staying in standard for max top speed, topping out at about 199 miles per hour. Going to rich. Let's see how much time I've gained on Vettel. Is a little bit more than 3 seconds. It's 2.4 to Vettel now here on lap 22. We got 8 laps remaining after this one, and we're getting very close to the DRS here on Vettel. And his tires are probably very worn, while mine are not quite as worn. Still 4th gear through this parabolica. Hopefully it'll be 5th gear with the option tires on the next stint. I imagine I lost a couple of tenths. No, I gained a tenth through that middle sector. It's only 2.3 now to Vettel. 5 tenths faster than my previous lap, and 4.7 back to Rosberg. So this race is certainly not over yet. And is Vettel pitting? Nope, Vettel continues on. Is he doing 4 option stints? What's going on here? I did not notice this in the race. But this is a very strange strategy from Vettel. As far as I can tell, he's pit on lap... Or is he? He must be on the primes. He's got to be on the primes. 2.6 to Vettel, lost 3 tenths through that last final sector there. But yeah, he's got to be on the primes because he pit on laps 7 and 14. So he did 7 laps in the first stint and 7 laps in the second stint, and we're now on the, oh god, we're now on the 8th lap of this stint. So I mean, I guess he doesn't necessarily, he could be on the options. If he pits this lap, then I genuinely don't know what tires he was on. 2.6 to Vettel. As my engineer tells me, pace is good. 7 tenths down on the previous lap, but that's because the previous lap I had DRS on that Caterham, which was probably about 4 tenths though, so I did lose a further 3 tenths, probably just from being slow. And I missed my apex at the beginning of the parabolica, and that's kind of messed with the entry for the exit. Entry for the exit, that sounds weird. 2.7 now to Vettel, lost another tenth or so. 4.4 to Rosberg, so it looks like I am comfortably going to come home in at least 2nd place, but I'm still very much pushing. Let's see, does Vettel pit? Vettel does pit. Vettel is pitting, and let's see if my engineer is going to tell me what tires he's going for.
The pit window is open. Come in this lap.
No information whatsoever. That's one of the few times I would have actually appreciated my engineer telling me what kind of tires the car ahead was putting on, and he doesn't, of course. It looks like Rosberg pit as well. Hamilton stays out, but he is quite a ways back, and you can see my tires not looking that great at the moment. Pretty close to previous lap's time, so I haven't lost any time really.
The gap between you and the car behind is currently 7
Ooh,
seconds.
oh, clunking over that curve. Again, not the fastest way through there. Using a lot of lean, as I mentioned before. It's good to use lean, especially towards the end of a stint where you're already on the slower side anyway.
We're ready for you. Box in this lap.
Ooh, so much understeer. And nicely through there. Wasn't very fast, but stayed on the rubbered in line as Vettel is only, oh, that's a big cut. I don't think I gained any time though. Vettel was only 12 seconds behind. It's definitely more than 12 seconds for this pit stop, so I'm definitely not going to be coming out ahead of him. So here we go, getting my brand new set of boots. Got the option tires on. And there goes Vettel. And that is a lot of time. Holy cow. He is gone. That gap is enormous now. And I got back markers to boot. And the worst part is he had these back markers as well, and he's that far ahead. So he had to deal with these back markers, and he's gained that much time. Who knows if I'll be able to clear the back markers as well as he did. I didn't see it when it happened, so not 100% sure. I'm down to lean, so I'm still at +1 laps of fuel. So I got lots of fuel to use for this option stint. You're probably going to see me using less lean than I have in previous laps. I am still going to be using some lean every lap. I don't want to be just using rich and standard, but I'm going to be using less lean. Should be seeing me go to standard. No, I think I'm staying in lean because of the back markers at the moment. Also, this is my out lap on this new set of tires, so they should be pretty much up to temperature as Vandergaard just does not get out of the way very nicely. Yep, and it is 5 seconds to Vettel. Even if he's on the prime tires, that's going to be hard to make up with only 5 laps remaining as we come to the end of lap 25. Only 5 laps to go, and about 5 seconds to Vettel. Let's take a look, see what it... Yep, 6 seconds to Vettel now. Just not looking good, unfortunately. Going down to lean for these first couple of corners. 3 seconds to Rosberg, so he's actually closed down that gap a little bit. Alonso does the fastest lap at 127.548. Romain Grosjean pitting at the end of lap 25. That's a pretty messed up strategy you guys got him on. I'm not sure how good that's going to work out for him. I wonder if that was intentional, but yeah, that almost certainly drops him out of the points. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Oh yeah, he's definitely out of the points at this point. He's in the bottom half of the grid even. So yeah, not looking great for him. 5.1 to Vettel now. Gained 9/10 on him in the final sector. Something tells me he might be running in lean, possibly doing fuel saving after pushing for the at the start of the race. And I'm in lean 2 at the moment through this parabolic. I need to be getting into standard. It's very oh no, as I get in the gravel. That is not going to help at all, as I'm still purple though through the middle sector. 5.1 to Vettel now, 2.9 to Rosberg. And I tend to lose time through the final sector, and touching that gravel there certainly didn't help, so I doubt this is going to be a fastest lap of the race. It was definitely the fastest sector 1 and sector 2, but it's not a great sector 3. Yep, only a 128.068, 5.5 to Vettel now, 2.5 to Rosberg. 4 laps remaining. Oh no, as I turned in too early for that, and that's going to mess up my line, and that is not what you want to be doing for that hairpin at all. You want to stay farther to the left, cut to the inside a little bit later, get a nice run, take a late apex, and get a very good line so you can get top speed. Down this straight, getting to about 192 in lean before going back up to rich. And let's see what the split is. It's probably lost even more time. Oh no, I've actually gained 6/10 somehow, even with that terrible turn 3. 4.9 if I can speak. 4.9 to Vettel, 2.7 to Rosberg. Everybody's pretty much holding station. Purple in Sector 2, 500ths faster, 4.666 to Vettel. Oh, as I turned in a little bit late for that corner there.
We think the car behind is running on full revs. He's trying to close the gap.
4.9 to Vettel, 2.4 to Rosberg, 3 laps remaining. Was another 10th faster over my new fastest, 127.926. Still nothing to write home about. Sector 3 seems to be where I'm losing most of my time. That might be because of my lower downforce, my 3-2 wings. Higher downforce might have been a better idea. And I'm being very conservative with the fuel, and I'm not sure why. If I had this to do over again, I think I would have been a little bit more aggressive with the fuel. See, I'm going to optimal and then just right back down to lean, so I'm going to be at +1 again pretty soon here. I should be going to rich right here for the run to Parabolica, and then even through Parabolica, maybe changing it down to standard. Oh, very wide. 3.9 to Vettel now, closing in. Gonna lose some time through this final sector, though. It's a very similar lap time, 127.941. 15 thousandths of a second slower than my previous lap. Only 2 laps remaining. I'm still at +1 fuel. I'm not sure what I'm doing right now, to be honest. Just go to rich, man. There you go. Just stay in rich, even. 4 seconds to Vettel. 2.5 to Rosberg. Second to last lap. I almost, oh, that was not a good corner. I almost stayed in second. I almost missed first gear, turning a little early. 3.2 to Vettel. Going to standard now for this section. Oh no, oh no. As I lock my inside wheel at the second left in that double left section. And that's pretty much race over at this point. I can tell you I was already thinking that. I was 3 seconds away and closing with 2 laps remaining, looking like I would maybe just about sneak DRS, but probably not. I had hopes though that I could maybe sneak DRS on him. I had a feeling that he was running in lean, so I was hoping that I could just run rich mix for all of lap 29 pretty much, and just get within DRS for lap 30, and maybe just make that move on the final lap, but no. 3.6 to Vettel, 1.9 to Rosberg, looking like second place for me in this race in India, unfortunately. And Vettel certainly looks closer, though. I wonder if he made a mistake or something. Let's see what the split time looks like at the end of the section, as I get a lot of wheel spin, even in second gear. Any time I think I gained in the first few corners, I think was lost spinning my wheels in second there. Going to lean, and I imagine probably just staying in rich. Oh no, as I hit the bollard. Oh man. Oh man. I do 28 laps of this race and then just make mistakes. Look, and I'm still only 3.7 behind Vettel, so without those 2 mistakes, I think I would be very close to him right now, probably within 2 seconds or so. I don't know if it would have been close enough to actually make a move or anything like that, but you know, it makes you wonder what if I'm only 3.5 now behind Vettel and running him rich at the moment. Burn off the rest of that fuel. And I mean, he is visibly closer. I could actually see him going through this corner where I couldn't on other laps. So, and that is the end of the race. To take home second place, 18 points. And Lewis Hamilton comes home in 6th. Sebastian Vettel wins the race, and he deserved it.
Second place, brilliant driving, brilliant driving.
3.4 seconds behind Vettel in the end. I think that would have been closer to 1 second without the mistakes that I made in the final stint there. Oh, look at that! And I have won the World Championship, and I did it in India, just like Vettel in real life. So I have won the World Championship, 304 points. Fernando Alonso in second place with 225 at the moment. Lewis Hamilton in third with 210 points. Mercedes still topping the charts with 399 points in the Constructors' Championship. We are 1 point ahead of Ferrari at the moment. We have 358. Ferrari has 357, with Red Bull having 267. And I thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this season. It's definitely going to be a new team next year. I know a lot of you guys want me in a Ferrari. I kind of want to go to McLaren or Toro Rosso, but we'll save that for another video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and leave a comment down below. I want to start taking polling people to find out what team you guys want to see me go to next year. Like I said, I'm leaning towards Toro Rosso or McLaren if I can get one of those seats. I'm thinking even maybe go to Toro Rosso, select Perez as my what's it called? Oh God, I'm fumbling here. Select Perez as my rival, and then take his seat at McLaren, so we could do the Button-Sutton team at McLaren. I think that would be a lot of fun. But I think going to Toro Rosso and having Perez as a rival is how we do that. But let me know in the comments below what teams you guys want to see me go to, Ferrari, McLaren, etc. You can see here we have a contract to renew for Lotus. I'm not going to do that, though. So yeah, let me know what you guys want to see for Season 3. It's that time of the seasons, and thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. Oh, this is not good for Fat First either, because they're going to have to double stack in the pit lane. It looks like we might have to as well. Maybe not.
Maybe not, yeah.
I thought we were going to have to double stack. Yeah, I guess not. Okay.
Oh,
yep. You know your race isn't going great when you have to use the reverse.
Yeah.